After Badlands, I think Terry stock did rise in Hollywood, but he wanted to make his own films.
I don't think he was happy at all about being a Hollywood star because he was such a kind of very private and very, very honest person.
I don't think he was, sort of swayed by, or attracted by, by all the lure to, just to work. I mean, it was 5 years till his next picture.
They told everybody they were brother and sister. My brother didn't want nobody to know. You know how people are. You tell them something, they start talking.
I remember I was doing Apocalypse Now when he was preparing to do Days of Heaven, and he confided in me that he was just not comfortable, and things just weren't going the way he'd hoped, and he thought about postponing it.
Yeah, I think that Terry felt that maybe one of his compromises was the actors that were in the piece.
Your sister keeps you warm at night, does she? What'd you say?
Terry originally wanted John Travolta, and when he cast Richard Gere, Richard refused to cut his hair. And Terry wanted him shaved up the side and to look like 1916, Migrant. Terry wanted that kind of commitment and conviction from his actors. He's gifted, but he's also a perfectionist.
Okay.
The look of Days of Heaven, Terry had conceived before we got to the location, I believe, backlighting and wanting to shoot early in the morning and late in the evening. He never wanted to see the sun. He wanted a white sky. And Nestor Amendoz worked really well with that.
There's actually a wonderful quote of Nestor's. He used to say this all the time during shooting, that he was only there to give credibility to Terry's insanity. Terry is the one who, Nestor was a sweet man. He did a great job, as did Haskell. The footage was beautiful, but Terry shot that movie. I mean, what you see on the screen is because of what Terry told them to do, and what he wanted. And Terry knew the limits of the film stock better than either one of them. Days of Heaven was a difficult movie to do because we tried to tell a story with so little dialogue. We worked on that movie for 2 years, and it was painstaking. I mean, Terry and I think I can safely say, neither one of us thought that we would live to the end of the process.
What's this? What are you doing?
He said to me once, I'm trying to create acting in the editing room, and this shouldn't have to happen to anybody. After Badlands, I think he would certainly not have dropped out of the movie business, but after Days of Heaven, maybe he was so disappointed at the way he couldn't have it the way he wanted it.
I think that for Terry, he may have gotten to certain points with films, but, if he can't do things the way he knows they need to be done, then I think that he just won't compromise.
I think something deeply personal happened to him, and it changed him, and I know he went through some great pain and suffering in his own personal life, and that he had to come to grips with that, and he had to heal, and he had to go on, and he had to find himself on another part of the journey.
Terry became an enigma. I mean, no one knew where he was. I kept hearing stories that he was in Paris and living in apartments in LA. That I talked to people who had hired him to do rewrites in the script. They couldn't reach him by telephone. They'd have to call a payphone, and then he'd call him back. He was completely inaccessible.
I thank God that he had made at least 2 films, and now he's getting ready, I think, to do another one. It's a big feature. It's a World War II epic, and he's been working on it for a while, and he took it from a novel. You know, it's not an original screenplay. That's the first time that he's done that.
The Thin Red Line is a story of people and courage and fears, and I think that Terry is excited about getting in close with his actors again. You know, like he did in Badlands, where he investigates the terror of combat.
I also think that for Terry, for someone with a mind like him, he's more than a filmmaker. You know, he really, I mean, this is his life, so I know he's been doing very important things, but it's every moment that he's not working in films is a shame for the film community and for the world, because it's a medium he obviously understands. You know, he's like a painter, real artist, and I think that's why his reputation is.
He's a screen poet. There was no other way to describe him.